Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Doctor Janine Show. I'm so happy to have you all here as you're streaming in. Please say hello and where you're from. And guess what we're talking about today? So the long-awaited menopause tips. We're going to go through some of the most common symptoms of menopause, but tips for the ladies. This is super, super important and things that you've never heard before, as this is correlated to menopausal symptoms, okay? So that's going to be really important for balancing hormones in general for women, really important. We're also going to continue the conversation, 5 more signs that your body needs some more nutrients, and this is going to be very interactive, so I'm going to be quizzing you. We're going to fill in the blanks there, as well as my natural toothpaste recipe. So I know a lot of you have been waiting for this, and this is a whitening but also remineralizing toothpaste. It's completely natural. There's no fluoride in here. Amazing. And we are going to the beauty set today, and we're going to be doing some microneedling on the skin. I'm going to show you my technique for that, which I absolutely love to build that collagen. So please say hello and where you're from, and let's get the show started. Okay, now if you missed last week's show, we talked about other signs that your body may be lacking in nutrients. We also did some face taping for those number 11 lines and the nasolabial fold. So please make sure that you are checking out that show in case you missed it. We also talked about leaky gut last week, and we did talk about the mitochondria and why it's so important to keep our mitochondria happy and healthy, those organelles, which of course create our energy, but they do so much more. Jadro in NYC. Dennis, hello, nice to see you. Sawin, hello, great to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. Preeti Maloney, I think, in Jakarta, Indonesia. Thanks for tuning in. BGR Brenda in Texas, great to have you here. Hi, Ivy in Arizona. Thank you for tuning in today. Dr. Micheline in Calgary. Thank you for tuning in. I have so many doctors that follow me now, which is amazing. Love it, love it, love it. Kathy, hello, good morning. And Melina in Sweden, in the house. Thank you for tuning in today. It's great to have you here. Rosanna, Mamta Varma in India. Rosanna is in Toronto. Great to have you. Philip in New Jersey. Thank you for tuning in, Philip. Great to have you here. G. Dorici in Istanbul. Thank you for tuning in. And Joe in Oklahoma. Yeti Gus in Florida. Vin Diesel in Ukraine. Hello, hello, welcome into the show. And a bunch more people are here. Mary in New York, Rajiv in India. Great to have you here. SK Ferretti in Brooklyn, New York. A lot of New Yorkers in the house. I can't speak New York accent, but yeah, that was a really bad try, wasn't it? Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Okay, let's get the show started. Let's first talk about menopause and the symptoms commonly associated with menopause. So for the guys that are in the house, please continue to pay attention. This is important because quite likely you may have women around you that may be at some point going through menopause, and there are ways to actually help others, male or female, in terms of education. And that's, of course, why I educate so many of you here. But if you're wondering what's going on, either with yourself or with someone that you see maybe going through a lot of these symptoms, it could be related to menopause. Okay, so number 1 on the list, very commonly, you start getting headaches, and this has to do with vasculature, it has to do with changes in blood flow, but toxic headaches as well, and that's why I'm a big proponent of doing full body detox, as that's related to the hormones, but also for headaches as well, which is so important. So getting those toxins really quickly. I was at TV last week for a marathon, and I was there for 3 days on and off, and had all these, live shows talking a lot about detoxification and why it's so important to do a full body detox, getting rid of those toxins from within so that they don't cause the extraneous symptoms, headaches being one of those. So that becomes very important in menopause. Okay, but we're going to get to tips for menopause as well, so don't go anywhere. Okay, number 2 is fatigue, just general lack of energy because the hormones are changing. You're not in the same hormonal sphere, and your levels definitely are going to be dropping off. It's not going to be the same as when you were younger. So as you do go through the menopause, this can really affect your energy levels, as well as, we lost the screen for a second there, and brain fog as well. So changes with, your ability to have focus and attention as that's related to the hormones changing, as well as hot flashes. Okay, so we know that this is super common in perimenopause, which usually starts average age around 40-ish, so 42. Average age of menopause worldwide is 52, so that when you actually don't have your cycle any longer. So that's a huge range of time in which there could be problems in a lot of these menopausal symptoms and perimenopausal symptoms. So the hot flashes, as we know, and they're different for every woman. So some women have them just in the face, others from the waist up. So it's very changeable for women as well. Number 5 is the dreaded night sweats. So you go to bed, you think, okay, I'm a good body temperature, then all night tossing and turning, covers on, covers off, sweats, having to change your pajamas. This could be very, very compromising to your overall health, because we know if we're not sleeping well, then we're not detoxing properly. It's affecting our mood the next day, our energy levels, our addictions to things like caffeine and sugar to keep our energy levels up because we're not sleeping. So my symptoms are really going to be helpful for all of these, and my tips will really help with all of these symptoms. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up, as well as changes with the period. So the periods could start to change in the volume of flow, but also their regularity when we're in perimenopause, as well as completely skipped periods. So you think you're done, but then it comes back for a few months. So again, something that, not all women love, some of these symptoms, not always, the best thing. As well as number 8, insomnia. So that, again, inability to have that restful night's sleep. And number 9, changes in mood. So this is a big one that, a lot of people may think, whether it is the irritability, it could be the low mood, depression, even anxiety can set in perimenopause and menopause, which is so concerning for a lot of women. And number 10 is the dreaded weight gain. So again, women typically are going to gain a bit of weight, and that is somewhat normal. Just like in pregnancy, you gain some weight, it helps to support your hormones. The same is true in perimenopause and menopause. So ladies, don't be scared of it. However, if it's too much weight and your body's not used to that, and you were overweight to begin with before getting into perimenopause and menopause, this is where sometimes it can be very problematic. So this is where I educate women that, going into even perimenopause in your late 30s, early 40s, get a handle on your weight. If you didn't yet lose the weight that you need to lose, then get a handle on it then, because you're going to be getting more weight, which is hormonal weight for reasons. And that's related back to cortisol levels, and leptin, and some of the things that we'll talk about. It's very protective for your hormones, but you want to address that weight. If I'm talking to any 30-somethings out there, you want to address that if you are overweight now. Just know that there is some extra weight coming in perimenopause and menopause for a lot of women. Not everyone, but for a lot of women. And it's actually a natural thing. Just like in pregnancy, you gain some weight to support the baby and to support your hormones, if that makes sense. Okay, who's loving this? Give me some thumbs up. Thank you for tuning in today. Please hit that share button as well if you could. Raina, hello, you're in the house. Thank you for tuning in. It's great to have you here. And okay, I know that a lot of people are, can relate maybe to the symptoms that we just shared of menopause. But now let's talk about, most specifically, how can we actually help with menopause and how to get that extra weight off? Okay, so this is going to be now targeting the hormones and, of course, our leptin signaling. So let's go on over here and let's talk about tip number 1 for helping to get that hormonal weight off. All right. So usually for a lot of women, it's around the midsection. If it's estrogen related, it could be in the breast tissue, in those little chicken cutlets, that some people call it, that underneath the bra strap. So just in front of your arm, it could be on the arms as well. So this is something that, number 1 on my list is using ice packs. So cold packs help with your leptin signaling. And this is something that if you don't want to do, the cold showers and the ice dunks, using an ice pack and use it in your trouble areas. So you can just put this in, tuck it into your clothing, and you're going to watch your programs in the evening, let's say for 20 minutes, up to 30 minutes. Super, super effective for helping to target with your leptin signaling. Okay, so those ice packs, they do work. All right. I hope that That helps. All right, number 2 on the list is having a big breakfast. Now, this is going to help with your circadian biology. This helps with your leptin signaling, okay? So you want to aim, ladies, for at least 50 grams of protein with your breakfast. This helps to keep you full. It gives you energy for the day and sets up your metabolism for the day, which is so important. So that big breakfast on waking, and ideally, it's going to be, I'm going to get to step number 4 in just a second. Okay, so no food after dark. Again, this is going to help with your melatonin secretion. It helps with your insulin and balancing your blood glucose levels, but also for that weight loss, because this has to do with your leptin signaling as well. Your leptin can't be properly secreted and joining its receptor sites if you've got a high blood sugar level, if you've got food in your system, okay, at bedtime. So this becomes really important to help with your leptin, which is going to help your overall, all of your hormones and your cortisol levels that you're not eating after dark, okay? I know it's hard at the beginning, trust me, because you're hungry still. But once you know that your leptin signaling is actually improved, or it's really good when you're not hungry after dark anymore. And your hunger overall just lessens because you have enough, if you are overweight, you've got enough body fat to actually sustain your energy levels. Okay, number 4 is you're going to eat that big breakfast with your at least 50 grams of protein as close to sunrise as possible. So usually there's a window of opportunity. So from sunrise to when you first see the UVA, and I encourage you to get the circadian app. I'll write it out later what it looks like. I don't know if I can show you exactly what it looks like, but yes, that circadian app, it's going to show you when UVA rises. So between sunrise and UVA rise, that's the best opportunity for eating calories and eating your food. And that's based on your circadian biology and balancing your leptin signaling. So eating a big breakfast within an hour after waking up. Okay, number 5 on the list is to stop snacking. You don't want to be snacking between meals. It messes up your circadian biology, it messes up your digestion. It can translate into now SIBO and other chronic issues with your gut health, which is also, I should have related that back to the symptoms as well of menopause. I know somebody was saying it in the comments that your gut got all messed up when your hormones were changing. Very, very common, okay? So that's important. So stop snacking between meals. And number 6, you want to exercise, but the type of exercise that you do is changing now. So when you were younger, in your 20s, your 30s, you could get away with doing intense cardio all the time and running and doing all these things. But that raises and offsets your cortisol levels. In perimenopause and menopause, you don't want to be doing that. You want to lessen the cardio. Yes, some cardio, some walking is good, so maybe a bit of jogging, maybe some HIIT training eventually once you fix your leptin signaling, but you don't want to over cardio. I call it over cardioing, okay? You don't want to be doing that. It is going to mess up your hormones, but you do want to lift a little bit of heavier weights, okay? So doing some weight training, some resistance training, really important. I also love yoga, hot yoga, swimming, these things, but you don't want to overdo the cardio aspect of these things, okay? So that becomes very, very important to get that weight off in menopause. Number 7 is more sun. You got to get more sunlight exposure. Super, super important. It's so funny. I walked into the gym where I work out, and the lady who works at the front desk, she said, "Oh, I keep telling everybody because I watch all your videos, Dr. Janine." She's like, "I tell everybody you got to get in the sun. It doesn't make sense that we've been told to stay inside because everybody feels better when you get natural sunlight exposure." It's so, so true. So whether that's for your menopausal symptoms or that's just for life in general and feeling good and healthy, get more sun exposure. Try not to use the sunscreen and take off as much clothing as possible. Even as the temperatures are changing, still do your best to get that natural sunlight exposure. And no sunglasses as well whenever you can, because we know that the sunglasses are going to block that proper signaling of the light coming in your eyes, activating your brain, all of your hormones. So get some natural sun in your eyes, okay? I'm not saying to look at the sun and stare at the sun. No, no, no. And if it's super bright and reflecting, you're going to put on your sunglasses. Let's be sensible. But at the same time, you want to have some exposure of natural light coming in your eyes, okay? And I've talked in previous episodes, if you're new to my channel, welcome on in. I'm Dr. Janine. Please say hello and where you're from. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you are following, and thank you for sharing today's live as well. But this is so important that we are, making sure that our circadian biology is optimized, and that's why I wrote a whole book on it. It's coming out soon. So make sure, I'm going to share an email that you can join my mailing list in just a little bit. Okay, so more sun exposure, we know that. All right. And of course, there are specific supplements supplements that I absolutely love. We're going to go through my favorite list of supplements for menopause. I hope you are enjoying today's show. Thank you for all the love and all those hearts coming in. I truly appreciate it, and all your donations throughout the shows as well. Guess what time it is? Okay, this is a very interactive show. If you're new here for the first time, thank you for subscribing. We play for prizes, and I will be announcing last week's winner. Okay, so that's coming up in just a second. But this week we're playing for the VitaTree Magnesium from our great sponsors at VitaTree Nutritionals. We thank them for supporting the show and having me come every week to educate you. All right, so this is the rules of the road. What we're doing is I'm going to put up a question. Well, my team's going to put up a question on the board behind me. You're going to have 30 seconds once you see that question. Just in the comments, you're going to answer that question as well as you can. So this one is a fill in the blank. And yeah, then we're going to see how you do. And we've got a few questions throughout the show. Okay, is everybody ready? And we have a fill in the blanks little section as well today, which is going to be fun. All right, is everybody ready? Yes? Okay, here we go. You're playing for the VitaTree Magnesium. Here we go. Blank packs on the abdomen can help with weight loss. And especially in menopause, any type of weight loss. This is for the guys, for the girls, for everyone. All right, get your answers in. You've got another 23 seconds. Okay, 15 seconds left. Everybody got their answers in? Okay, good job, everyone. Yes, I like the emojis. Joy. That's good. I like when people put the emojis. So you put the answer, but you put the extra thought of joy, yeah? Like Joy did, to put the emoji in as well. It makes it more fun for me to see them on the screen. Okay, everybody got it? Yes? All right, of course. What's the answer? Ice packs on the abdomen can help with weight loss. So congratulations to everybody who answered that. And I do want to congratulate Jill Steven 0806, you are our winner from last week, so congratulations, everyone. All right, Jill, so that was the organic vitamin C, again, from my sponsors, Whole Foods Nutrients from VitaTree Nutritionals. Awesome job. All right, now let's continue on, and we're going to talk about filling in the blanks. So we started this last week. It was really fun. I know my followers, you're very well educated. You know a lot about health, and even if you're new here, Lizzie, thank you for sharing the live. Yeah, even if you're new here, I'm sure you're learning something every week, and I'm so glad that you tune in every week. Okay, so let's talk now about fill in the blanks. So we're talking about nutrient deficiencies. So number one is cracked heels. What could that be a sign of a deficiency of? Cracked heels. So your heels are cracked and very dry. Does anybody know what nutrient deficiency that would be? And Annie Ann is asking, what is the best time to use the ice pack? I like it actually in the evenings. That's such a good question. So in the evenings when you're relaxing, you don't want your body to be in a stressful state. So I like to sort of tuck it into whatever I'm wearing, my pajamas or whatever, and just have it there for 20, 30 minutes. Once it gets warm, when your body heat warms it up, then it's irrelevant. It's useless. So it's about 20, 30 minutes that you use those ice packs. I like it in the evening, but really you could do it at any time of day. All right. Yes, okay. Okay, yep, all right. I see some of you have it. Okay, so vitamin D would be one indication if you've got those cracked heels. Another one is your vitamin B2 and B3. So riboflavin and niacin. Now, does anybody know good food sources of some of these nutrients? Mushrooms would be one, a food source for vitamin D, but very little. Only if those mushrooms were actually outside in natural sunlight can you get some vitamin D from mushrooms, and they've actually studied that, which is really interesting. B2 and B3 is in a lot of fish, so anchovies, mackerel, nuts and seeds like almonds. You can get some of these mussels as well for B2 and B3. As indicators, eggs, you can get some of the B vitamins as well, your B2, B3. Okay, I hope that helps. All right, let's go to the next one. Low back pain, something that we talked about, I believe, in last week's show, or it could have been 2 weeks ago. Low back pain, which nutrient deficiency? I mean, there might be a handful, but there's one in particular that I mentioned that I think we need to take a look at. Yes? I see that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nikki, thank you for sharing today's live. That's so amazing. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, we've got it. Yeah, a lot of you have it. Alexandra, like that. So vitamin D3, very common. So if you start aching and you haven't seen the sun in a while, maybe you're not taking vitamin D, and you should take a vitamin D3. Low back pain is a common correlation with vitamin D deficiency. So that's kind of your body's telling you, like, hey, it's not normal to have back pain, right? And maybe you tweak something at the gym or in your exercise, or maybe not. If you're feeling that, then make sure you're optimizing your vitamin D levels, okay? Number 3, salt cravings. What can that be a relationship of a deficiency of? This one's interesting, actually. And maybe Nicole, thank you for sharing today's live. Maybe it's Nadia has it, of course. Yeah, love it. Okay, awesome. So sodium deficiency. So you would think, can I put in does everybody remember chemistry? The periodic table, sodium. Maybe I'll write it out for people who don't remember, but because some of these are not obvious if you're not a chemistry buff. There we go. So sodium. So a lot of people actually do have a sodium deficiency. You wouldn't think so, but a lot of, for I don't know how many years, 50 years, doctors have been saying, oh, you have high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease risk. You should really be limiting your sodium. So a lot of people are on a sodium restricted diet, sometimes not to their advantage, just gonna say my opinion. So sodium, so if you crave a lot of salt, you could be low in sodium. If you perspire a lot, that would be an indication, especially maybe you're having the hot flashes, the night sweats as an example. You're perspiring more than what you normally would, you could be dumping your sodium, all right, as an example. So making sure you're optimizing your sodium becomes very important for your mineral status. Okay, dark circles under the eyes. That's what I was talking about here. All right, some of you are jumping the gun here. Kissed. Awesome. Anybody else? Okay, good. Yes. Let me see who else has this answer. There's a few answers here. I like that, Nicole. Irwadi, yes, I like that answer. That's actually very good. Tika Mama, 506, yep, I like that. And Nadia, of course, you got that right. Good job. Kathy as well. Jacinth, yeah, possibly. Not the one I was looking for, but possibly. Tony Jacobs, okay, everybody's got it now. Here we go. So dark circles, vitamin K, as well as, everybody else had iron, yes, iron. So remember that's Fe in chemistry. And some people said another one, thyroid. I actually like that because thyroid can be related to iodine, and it actually ties back to an iron deficiency. So as much as we know that we need iodine for our thyroid, we also need that iron. Okay, last one on the list for today, loss of the outer third of your eyebrow hair. Okay, Day Anderson 9 is asking, is it the same for puffy under eyes? That is often related, yes, potentially to iron and your vitamin K2, but puffiness related to your kidney health. So that's something that we've talked about in the show as well. And there are natural, and it could be lymphatic as well. So that's why in the show, we've done lymphatic drainage. And don't forget that we do have coming up, we're gonna go into the beauty set of the show today, and we're gonna be doing some microneedling for the face, which can also help with lymphatic, but also blood flow. All right, yeah, everybody's got it. Everybody's got it. Okay, so low thyroid, of course. So outer third of the hair of your eyebrow can be related to low thyroid, okay? So to be aware of that, and it could be an iodine deficiency, of course, as well. So great job, everyone. We're gonna continue. We have a few more quiz questions coming up, and make sure that you are following. I do want to call out my viewer spotlight for the week, and this is from Tatiana Romani. Thank you so much, Tatiana. You said, thanks, Dr. Janine, such a wealth of knowledge. Well, thank you to you for writing in, and everybody continue to share the love. It's so great to always have you here every week, whether it's live or in between shows as well, in terms of your commenting on all of my social posts that are out there on all the platforms. Okay, great to have you here if you're here for the first time. Now let's talk about some supplements specifically that help with menopause, okay? I'm gonna go through some of my favorites that absolutely work, what I've used with my patients, and this is so incredible, and with thousands of, people all over the place who of course follow me and you know my content and you know exactly that it's so important to, have these proper correlations with getting the right nutrients at the right time and at different stages. And for women, magnesium deficiency is so common. So whether that is for menopause, perimenopause, but even, for the younger woman who still has her cycle and has the menstrual cramps, that becomes very important. All right, so let's talk about the first one, and that is magnesium. Now, magnesium helps with our metabolism of our carbs, our fats, and our proteins, so our macronutrients. And most women are deficient. We simply don't get it in our diet any longer because of modern farming and something that they use in modern farming called glyphosate. Now that glyphosate, unfortunately, is a herbicide, and it's used in GMO farming, modern farming, and it traps magnesium. So that's one of the big reasons why we're not getting enough magnesium in our foods, even if we're eating healthy foods, because it's trapped by that glyphosate. Now, there is other compromising toxic thing that we're all exposed to. It's called fluoride. And I'm going to be sharing in just a few moments. I'm going to go through and show you and we're going to mix it up together, my fluoride-free toothpaste recipe, which is whitening and remineralizing. So that is coming up. You're going to love that. So stay tuned for that. Okay, now we also know that magnesium helps with our bone density. So this becomes very important. And we're encouraging, of course, one of my tips for menopause and perimenopause is to do some weight training. That's going to be really important to help with the proper structure of our bones and our bone density. We've got to lift some heavy things, but we need magnesium. It works along with our vitamin D3, our vitamin K2, our calcium, and our other trace minerals to help with that bone density, which is so important. It also helps with low mood and depression, which of course can happen as the hormones are changing. You don't even know what's happening to you, and that can be related to, again, those perimenopausal and menopausal symptoms when your hormones just go off a cliff. And I think we have a little slide that I can show you of the hormones? Maybe not yet. Okay, I will show you that. Okay, here we go, perfect. So we can see in the reproductive years, our estrogen and progesterone are at a nice high level. Testosterone is kind of middle of the road in women as well. But now what happens in perimenopause, anybody skied a Black Diamond Hill before? Like crazy drop off, and you're losing estrogen at a rate of like 90%. When you get to menopause, 99%. It's crazy. It's crazy. We still have a little bit, but not enough to feel the way that we did when we were younger. So that becomes, reason why some of these minerals like magnesium are so important, helping to balance those things, and especially the low mood and depression. It also helps with our cardiovascular health. So when we're talking about having a healthy heart, this is something that, can I take it apart? Yes, I can. So just like in the picture you see behind me, to keep our heart healthy and for the normal, regular beating of the heart, that is regulated by magnesium. And too much calcium flooding into areas is also a problem. And magnesium is actually a natural calcium channel blocker, which a lot of cardiac drugs are actually calcium channel blockers. So this becomes really important to optimize your magnesium. It's amazing when you start taking magnesium. Oops, I just dropped my heart on the floor. Oh my goodness. I better pick it up. I'm going to step on it if I don't pick it up really quickly. Okay, there we go. My broken heart. Poor heart. Okay, so this is so important that we are optimizing our magnesium, because keeping our heart healthy, I'll put that there safely this time, becomes very important. And if you're going to take a magnesium, make sure you're taking the right type. So my favorite type is actually a magnesium bisglycinate. And make sure your supplement, something that I educate you a lot about, make sure there's no fillers, there's no flow agents, and there's no magnesium stearate, which again is not magnesium. Most supplements out there, like 95% of them, they have this chemical. It's called magnesium stearate. Please avoid it in your supplements. It's never been tested to be safe for long-term human consumption, and it goes on top of it, actually coats your vitamins and will decrease the absorption of anything that's on it. So please check all of your vitamins. And if you do have questions about some of the things that I like, please put it in the comment section. Also, if you have specific questions throughout the show, can we just pop this up really quickly? We have my new email list. So here we go. So please, if you do have specific questions, please join my email list so that you're always up to date on the newest things that are coming out from Dr. Janine. It's going to be amazing. So excited about my book coming out as well. Hello at drjaninebowring.com. Just send a quick email over there with your name, and of course, let the team know that you want to be on my mailing list, sort of like my insider group, and for all of my followers, which I love. So make sure that you are doing that and getting that email in there. Okay, and make sure that you hit that subscribe button, that you're following as well. It's so great to have, everybody who's here today. Thank you, DJS, for sharing today's live, and Black Beauty, thank you for the follow. It's great to have you here. Good morning to everyone, and it's so great to have you all here. So yes, thank you for my team is putting in the weight loss tips for menopause. If you missed some of the notes, you can always look back, and because some of the platforms actually save this program that we do live on Tuesdays, so that you can check the past episodes as well. If you're new to my content, we do different topics every week that I educate you on based on, of course, my research and everything that I've done in the last, 30 years here in natural medicine. All right, so let's continue now. Another famous supplement that we need in menopause, and most women are actually deficient in this. It is fiber. Okay, so fiber becomes hugely important. So if you haven't been on top of your fiber intake, dietary, I actually have now included taking fiber supplements. I wasn't so regular with it before, but I've included that into my routine now because it really does help with hormonal balance. And especially when our estrogen, in terms of the relationship with our other hormones, is in dominance over our progesterone. That's called estrogen dominance. Happens for the guys as well. So for the men, this is really important. Male or female, you could have estrogen dominance. And why is that? Well, that's because of all of the environmental estrogens that we have now, plastic water bottles, things that are in the air. I mean, it becomes very important that we're optimizing our proper balance and ratios of our estrogen to progesterone. So that's what fiber does. It helps to trap some of those bad estrogens. It helps to decrease the recycling of those bad estrogens in the gut. And this is one of the things that I'm going to show you a quick little demo here. If you can come on over here. So if we think of bad estrogens, we think of bad fats, and they're sitting on top of the water here. And you can see that I've got oil and some red food dye and some water. Okay, so can everybody see that? You see all those fats that are sort of sitting in here. Those could be your bad estrogens as well. All right, so we just have the red food dye so you can see that distinction. And what fiber does is it emulsifies. So it actually traps the fats. And you can see here when we've added in the fiber, and this is a psyllium seed fiber, which is a soluble and insoluble fiber. We've added that into that same mixture. And can you see how it's emulsified that fat? You see how thick and gloopy that is? So that is amazing because it's going to trap, those bad fats. It's going to trap those estrogen byproducts and take them out through the digestive tract, which is what you want for your body to eliminate those, okay, so that you don't have the estrogen dominance. It really does help you to feel full. It helps with the weight loss as well. So if you're struggling with the weight, you can't get that weight off, this is going to help. And fiber also helps to feed the probiotics, so your good guys in your gut, to help for having those healthy bowel movements. So we know that, here we go with the poop, that having the healthy poops is where it's at. So again, as a reminder, everybody, if you've been here before, you know what a healthy poop looks like. So a dark log is always a sinker, meaning that you've actually properly emulsified those fats. So this is where the fiber becomes very important. An S-shaped dark sinker, also really important. So you can see behind me, again, what that fiber is doing is helping to emulsify, trap those bad estrogens and bring them out through the digestive tract. So healthy pooping, super important for menopause, perimenopause, and for balancing anybody's hormones, okay, man or woman. All right, I hope that helps. Yes? All right, awesome. Guess what time it is? It's quiz question number 2 time. And remember, we are playing for, if you're just tuning in now, the VitaTree Magnesium from our great sponsors at VitaTree Nutritionals. We thank them for sponsoring the show. And we're doing a lot of education today, aren't we? All right, here we go. Here we go. Are we ready? It's a true or false, so this is pretty simple, I think. If you're just tuning in now, you've got a 50-50 chance. True or false, low back pain can be a sign of vitamin D deficiency. Everybody get your answers in now. Good luck. got their answers in. 5 more seconds left. Let's see how you're doing. Yes. All right. I'll give you a couple more seconds. Good job, good job. Okay, everybody good? All right, let's go. Yes, of course, yes, low back pain absolutely can be related to being low in vitamin D, amongst other nutrient deficiencies, but that's the one that we've talked about in the last few shows. Okay, guess where we're going, guys? We're going into the kitchen. I'm super excited. We are going to mix up now, and I'm gonna share my recipe, so we'll come back and we'll screenshot my recipe for natural whitening remineralizing toothpaste. So if you or your children are struggling with the dental cavities as well, this is remarkable how well this works. If you have sensitivity of your teeth as well, it is amazing. So sometimes, you know, I've made the mistake of, I like lemon in my water. So if I do too much of that and I don't swish out my mouth after drinking that, then yeah, my teeth can get quite sensitive. So this is an amazing way to remineralize and help with protecting the enamel. All right, so we're gonna mix it up. Is everybody ready? And I'll show you the recipe after so you can screenshot it. And we will be going into the beauty set, so don't go anywhere. We're gonna be doing I'm actually gonna do it on my face today. We're gonna do some microneedling, okay? And I'm gonna show you with the roller my technique for doing that, which is actually in my new book as well. So make sure that you join that email list, and so you get first dibs on, you know, when we are launching the book. Okay, so let's get started. So how are we doing this? Well, we're gonna use some whole food calcium powder. So this is a fossilized coral calcium, which again, from our friends at Vitatree Nutritionals, we thank you for donating it to make my recipe, which is amazing. So that calcium powder is actually gonna help to remineralize the teeth. It helps with whitening as well as the other ingredients. So we do have some baking soda, and I'm gonna mix these and tell you the amounts in just a second. This is our whole food calcium powder. We have some xylitol, which is known to actually help to make sure that the good balance of the good bacteria in the mouth is optimized. So that's going to be important. And of course, some peppermint essential oil to give it a minty taste like any regular toothpaste. And we have some coconut oil. Okay, so we started with 4 teaspoons of coconut oil. And I like the one that looks white. So when you, not the liquid one, I like the one that looks white. So when you're purchasing it and it's at room temperature, it's white, it's semi-solid. This is the one that you want for the toothpaste. It just helps with the consistency, okay? And then depending on where you live, if you're in a super hot climate, then usually if you have AC, then it's gonna be okay. And if it does liquefy, then that will be okay as well, but you want it sort of at room temperature. All right, so we're gonna have our 4 teaspoons of the coconut oil. Into that, I am mixing the xylitol powder. So 4 teaspoons of xylitol powder. That kind of makes your toothpaste a little bit sweet tasting as well, but again, it helps with the proper bacterial counts in your mouth, and that actually can kill off some of the bad bacteria in the mouth. There's actually research that shows that. I've looked at some of those studies, which is amazing. Now we've also got 3 teaspoons of baking soda into the mixture. And if you have super sensitive teeth, then maybe this isn't your daily toothpaste. Maybe this is a toothpaste that you do 3 times a week. I know that some dentists sort of steer clear of baking soda too often, but I find for my teeth, which tend to be before I switch my toothpaste, and when I was using a fluoridated toothpaste all the time, I had sensitive teeth all the time. I switched to natural toothpaste, no more sensitive teeth. So everybody's different, of course, but you can see how this is coming together with the mixture so far. Then we're gonna add in, of course, our calcium powder, and this is the whole food calcium. It's a fossilized coral calcium, and it's 8 teaspoons of that, which have been pre-measured for me. So I thank you, Melinda, for doing that. And then we're just mixing that in. And then we are going to mix in our drops of essential oil. So I like peppermint because then it's like a traditional, you know, toothpaste, a minty kind of taste. That's the type that my kids prefer as well. You could do cinnamon. Some people like cinnamon or different flavors of and it smells so good. Of the essential oil, is totally up to you, but peppermint is my favorite. We're doing 15 drops, and I try to sort of distribute it into the mixture, but of course then I'm going to stir this up, and that's probably about right. All right, so 15 drops of your peppermint essential oil, preferably an organic one if you can, but if you can't find an organic one, then you know you're okay with a regular essential oil. You just don't want it to be mixed with other oils and things. So all essential oils are not created equally. You want to try to get a better quality one, in my opinion. But if you can't find it, whatever, you're purchasing it online. And most of these ingredients can be purchased online, of course, or in your local health food store. And then you can see, so as I mix that, you can see the consistency. It has a little bit, just a tiny bit of graininess to it, which actually is really great for whitening the teeth. And if you could smell that, it's amazing. So what I do, I actually keep a jar just like this. It doesn't look so pretty in my bathroom. So I have my little mixture in my bathroom. I pop off the top. This is glass. You could do it in plastic. I don't like plastic, but if that's all you can get your hands on, then you could do it in plastic as well. And then I just sort of dip my toothbrush into it. I'm the only one who uses mine. I know it's not the most sanitary thing, but I'm not a germaphobe. If you're a germaphobe, then what you're going to want to do is to buy these little tubes online and put it in there, and then you're just going to squeeze out what you need onto your toothbrush every day, okay? Amazing. Actually, technically, you could probably even refill a toothpaste. I never thought of that if you're very savvy, and you could cut the end off, fill it, and then roll it over, and then you could reuse your old toothpaste container, right? Yeah, there we go. See, I'm thinking on the fly and creating opportunities for all of you. That's what I like to do here. I'm Dr. Janine. Thank you for tuning in. Let me show you the recipe really quickly so you can screenshot it. Again, we've got our whole food calcium powder, and again, from our great friends at Vitatrue Nutritionals, the sponsor of our show. So I love it because it is very remineralizing. It also has not just the calcium, it has 69 other trace minerals that are amazing. So it's something that I take internally for bone density, but of course I use it in my toothpaste recipe. Your baking soda, your xylitol powder, and then your coconut oil. Remember the one that's it looks more white, so it's more solid, semi-solid at room temperature, and 15 drops of essential oil or any essential oil of your choice. You could do like what's the peppermint? No, not peppermint. The star anise, the one that's like licorice flavor. That would be good too. I haven't tried it, but I know that a lot of people do make sort of a licorice flavored toothpaste as well. I hope that helps. Everybody got it? Can I move on? Yes? Okay, good. Now don't forget, we're going to be doing some microneedling today to build our collagen for everybody who's interested in that. I'm super, super excited. Okay, so how much coconut oil? A question coming in. Again, 4 teaspoons of the coconut oil. Did you get that? I hope you got it. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So now let's talk. I want to say thank you to all my super fans. So thank you to all of you. You're super generous. Thank you so much. And to everybody who supports my channel, you tune in. You know, my diehards who are here every week, I see you. I see you. Thank you for tuning in every week. And if you're new here for the first time, I know a bunch of new followers today. Thank you, NOAN, for sharing today's live as well. I know a bunch of new people are here today, so thank you for tuning in. Please make sure you tune in next week as well. And tune in tomorrow, because tomorrow we'll do the live Q&A. I'll answer your questions based on some of the things that we talked about today, or really any question is open for discussion tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's hashtag Ask Dr. Jane. It's a little bit different than today's show. On Wednesdays, it is all Q&A, so I answer your questions. Okay, so tune in tomorrow at 1. It is amazing. All right, now let's continue about menopause and some of my other favorite supplements. So we talked about fiber, we talked about magnesium if you're just tuning in, but I do have a certain set of herbal medicines which are life-changing. I'm telling you, they are life-changing, especially for the hot sweats, the night sweats, and the irritability, and the moods, and the metabolism, and the weight gain. These are my favorite herbal medicines, okay? And let's go through my list. We do have our final quiz question is coming up as well. All right. Let's look at number 1, the first one, black cohosh. This is known as Simicifuga, and it helps to balance estrogen levels. So remember that ski slope, as our estrogen and our progesterone are going down that ski slope, when we're losing that estrogen, 95% in menopause, it's a dramatic drop off that's happening. So we can sort of support our own estrogen that's still hanging on with the black cohosh. Now, it's not estrogenic, so it's not like taking, the creams and the lotions and the potions that are out there, or even the compound pharmacy. I'm not a big fan of those. I get asked this question like on the daily from menopausal and perimenopausal women. when they find out what I do and all of my research, and I don't like them. I don't like them, okay? And there's reasons for that, and that's something that we've talked about in previous shows, so that's something you can look up when we talk about menopause. All right, so black cohosh, amazing for balancing estrogen, as well as number 2 on my list, which is chaste tree berries. So this is known as Vitex agnus castus. It helps with the progesterone. So remember, there's always this dance happening between estrogen and progesterone, so these 2 herbal medicines work really well together to help with estrogen and progesterone. As well as, we've got a couple more, maca. Now maca is amazing, and it's called an adaptogenic herbal medicine, so it really does help. It's from the Andes Mountains in Peru. It helps in times of stress. It helps with hot flashes. It helps with the night sweats. It helps your body regulate itself for stress. And of course, in stressful conditions, this is something that we might need, and it is a stress for the body to have, of course, those hormones changing so drastically. Maca also helps with anxiety, helps with your memory and those menopauses. It's called menopause, like the brain doesn't work, those pauses. Yeah, it's really super effective for that as well. And it's one of the things that I take actually in combination. I take a combination that has all of these, plus the last one, number 4 on the list, which is motherwort. And this is Leonaris cardiaca. And it helps with any type of heart issue. So heart palpitations that can really come along with menopause and the changing hormones, and muscle cramping as well. So that's something that is amazing. I take them all together in one formula. Absolutely love it. Couldn't live without it. It's, like I said, it is legitimately a life changer. Okay, so hit that share button. Thank you to everybody who's here today. We still have one more quiz question coming up. And of course, we're going to do the beauty segment as well with the microneedling. And I'm going to sort of share my tips on that. It's great to have you here. Yes, so it does not promote estrogen. So for a lot of patients are sort of scared by their doctors that, in terms of having positive tumors in the past, and it's not something that, if anything, it actually is very protective, and it regulates the hormones going forward for concerns with breast tissue. So that's a great question. Okay, great question. Thank you for asking that. And who is that from? Kathleen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we're going to the beauty set. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, microneedling. This is something that you can safely do in your own home. And I encourage you to do it because it helps to stimulate your own collagen, and it's completely natural. You can't hurt yourself with this. You do need to be conscientious of the cleanliness of your tools when you're doing this, and of course the cleanliness of your skin when we get started. So I'm actually just going to do a little section of my face. I'm going to show you exactly my protocol. And the microneedler is kind of like the aerating. If you've ever had your lawn aerated, so doing those little plugs, removing the plugs to help with sort of piercing the lawn, the same with microneedling. Now this is more of an electronic one, and this is a big, don't be scared by this because it's a big enlargement of it, but we're going to do the roller type, and you can see that it penetrates, so it's getting to some of the deeper layers of the skin. Mine's only 0.25 millimeters, so let's look at the other graph where we can see at different depths it's going to penetrate more deeply. So mine's here, mine's 0.25, so not too aggressive. I do have sensitive skin, so that's the one that I chose to purchase, 0.25 millimeters. Certainly, the deeper you go, you're going to get into the dermis at 1 millimeter. Even at 0.75, you're going to get into the dermis, which may be one of your goals. Maybe you want to start, a little bit less aggressively, as I did with the 0.25. It's totally up to you. I wouldn't usually recommend, going this deep. That's too aggressive. All right, but much like aerating your lawn, it's going to have these micro punctures in the skin, and now that's going to allow for any type of micro damage is going to allow for your body to engage itself to create more collagen and elastin and to really help with the texture of your skin. Okay, so here's the little microneedler. This is the roller kind. You can purchase these easily online, and it's got, you can't see it, but it's got these tiny, tiny little needles on it. Okay, now I have cleansed mine, and then I put it back in. I cleansed the case. So I cleansed it with an alcohol solution and a bit of dish soap, very similar to, of course, the glass cleaning recipe that we have as well. So that's what I used, okay, to cleanse this, and I cleanse the container. So it's all ready to go, and I'm just gonna do this really quickly. Now, what you wanna do is you wanna cleanse your skin. So I just have a little wipe here, a makeup removing wipe, usually at home though, and that's just for the purposes of the show. At home, what I use is coconut oil. So any type of great coconut oil is amazing to help to cleanse off all your eye makeup, all your makeup for the day, and that's what I use, okay? So there you go. So I could do that, and what I will do is I'm gonna use a little bit, so I'm just gonna find, there we go, a little section that I haven't used, a little bit of witch hazel. Now witch hazel is an astringent, so helps to cleanse the skin as well. You wanna have super clean skin when you're doing your microneedling. All right. So I'm a very freckly girl, as you can see. That's why I use the makeup sometimes when I'm on TV and everything else. But I've since I was little, always had lots of freckles. All right, so now that's one of my little secrets. Now you know. All right, so now with your microneedler, this is clean and cleansed. What you're going to want to do now, if you're using the electronic type, you need something on the skin. So like a hyaluronic acid is usually the best, because you need, for the electronic type, you need it to be able to slip. You don't want it to get stuck as you're moving it across your skin. With the roller, I find that you don't need that so much. I like to apply, you know, a hyaluronic after, or any type of skin care that I really, if I have a special type of skin care with the stem cells or whatever that I really want to penetrate deeply into the skin, I'm going to do that after I've done the microneedling, after I've created those little holes. Okay, so basically you're going to go in 3 directions. You're going to go up and down in each area, then you're going to go across, so horizontally, and then you're going to do it on the diagonal. And then that's it, all right? So if we start here, and you're just pressing enough to be able to feel it, it's not painful at all, so if anybody's scared, but you can see that my skin is already going a little bit red, all right? So I usually pass 2 or 3 times in each area for one direction. Now I'm going to go across, and I just pass back and forth across as such, and you can see it's getting a little bit red. And then I'm going to do the diagonal like this. Can everybody see that? And you can see how my skin is already turning red. Now, of course, I would get right in there, you know, for this area around the eyes, but very, very gently. So I don't press as hard when I'm going around the eye area, but I still want to target that area because that skin is very important, of course. That's where we get the expression lines and the crow's feet for the microneedling. And then, of course, I'm going to sanitize this again. So I would go and sanitize this. So I usually do alcohol or any type of sanitizer that you are comfortable with that agrees with your skin. And then I actually rinse it through the tap with the water, and then that's it. Then I put it back and seal the case again so it's ready for next time. But even though it's ready for next time, I do the whole process again. So I actually, when I use this the next time, I'm going to take this out, I'm going to spray, sanitize, I sanitize the case again. So after it's cleaned, I clean all the inside of the case with the sanitizer, just so that you're super, super careful. Now my skin is open. So now is a great opportunity after I've done the microneedling to add my serums, whatever it is that even you could use, you know, if you wanted to, castor oil, for those of you who like the castor oil on the skin, and then anything that you're going to use now is going to penetrate more deeply. And I like to do this at bedtime, of course, on clean skin. I hope that helps. Kathy Stat, freckles are a sign of beauty. Well, thank you. Love that. Yeah, I embrace the freckles in the summertime, and don't use that much makeup really, because I think they're great, and some of my kids have them as well. I think they're beautiful as well. So thank you for saying that, Kathy. It's amazing. Any questions on the microneedling? I'll take that. Yes, I know what products you're asking. I can't say specifically in terms of whatever you're comfortable with and things that you know that, and Susan, you're asking about microneedling on the scalp. Absolutely, it can help to stimulate hair growth. If you do have low thyroid, one of the things that we talked about, one of the symptoms of the outer third of your eyebrow hair, you could actually microneedle on your eyebrows as well to help with the stimulating the growth. So I hope that helps. How often do you do this? It depends on your skin type. So I have super sensitive skin. So I don't like to do it more than once a month, because I do find for my skin, so after I've done this, in about 4 days time, I'm going to have a very drying effect, and sort of, it's almost like a sloughing off of my skin, because it's now regenerating. So those upper layers of the epidermis are coming off, and the new, growth of the new and stimulated collagen from deeper within is making its appearance. It's resurfacing. So does that make sense? Yeah. So I don't do it more than once a month. I know some people do it more often than that. So there you go. All right. Awesome. Well, thank you for everyone who tuned in today. Oh, no. Sorry. We still have another question. I'm ready to go. It's not time to go. All right. Here we go. Quiz question number 3. Is everybody ready? All right. Here we go. Name an adaptogenic herbal medicine that is good for menopausal symptoms. Remember, everyone, if you're just tuning in, we're playing for a prize for the Vitatree Magnesium from our great sponsors at Vitatree Nutritionals. Here we go. I hope you get this one right. It's something that we talked about in today's show. All right, I see a lot of good answers here. Very good. Everybody got your answers in? All right, I like this. This is really, really good. Some people are mentioning some of the other herbs that we talked about, but I was looking specifically for this one, the adaptogenic one, which of course for your cortisol levels, for cortisol belly fat becomes very important in menopause and perimenopause. Everybody got it in now? Yes, you can change your answer. Yes? Okay, let's reveal, of course, it is the maca. So Peruvian, amazing. And it comes in different types. There's purple maca, black maca as well. So, and they all have similar properties in terms of their ability to be adaptogenic, but amazing for balancing the hormones. All right. There you have it, everyone. And just so that you know, so we just did the microneedling. It feels a little bit burning after you've done it. I don't know, how red do I look right now? Do I look pretty red? Can you tell a little bit? Yeah, so that's my skin. But that is the healing process is happening right now. You're seeing it live, which is amazing. Nice and red. The redness fades after about an hour or so, but it really is remarkable. Please make use of microneedling. You're gonna love it for your skin. And you can do it elsewhere as well. It doesn't just have to be here. You can do it on your neck, just be careful. You can do it on other areas on your décolleté as well. Same protocol though, you want to cleanse really well when you're doing your microneedling and make sure that your tool is very clean as well. Oh, on psoriasis, I probably wouldn't recommend because you're already regenerating your skin cells too much, so I wouldn't want to cause more damage to psoriasis. Eczema, potentially, yes, but again, everybody is different, and you could just do a little patch test for eczema. Psoriasis, I'd say no, because you're already regenerating too quickly. All right, that's a great question though. Okay, and I hope you have more questions tomorrow, so please tune in tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Q&A, and I am going to show you my email address really quickly, so email into my team, hello@drjaninebowring.com. This is new, and I please want you to send an email to get on my email list, my insider group for all of our new launches, when my book is coming out, and opportunities there for courses and learning more from me and interacting with me. Please join that list and let the team know that you want to join the list. Thank you so much, everyone who tuned in today. It was so great to have you here. I'll answer your questions tomorrow. Sorry if I didn't get to your question today. And make sure you tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. All right, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. All right, we'll see you then. Bye.